Hello everyone, this is part 18 of What If Naruto Was Trained by Anko, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like and subscribe to see more, comment down below. Now let's start. Five Naruto was much different from others. How he lived his life, he rarely cared about anything or feared anything. He just let things slide and kept on going. However, there was one thing that scared Naruto dearly, one thing that sent shivers down his spine. That thing was angry Anko. Now this isn't a normal anger that Anko produced. She was just sadistic and torturous when she was angry. This was a type of angry that made people run for the hills. This Anko did not know what mercy was, and her main objective is to kill everything and everyone in her path. Naruto witnessed this type of Anko before, and the guy was still walking funny. Anko stood in front of Naruto with a glare that promised death. Naruto was trying not to wet himself with fear. Why, when I was guarding a shelter, did I see my Ototo, little brother, fight a giant raccoon and did not run to get someone who has more experience in dealing with giant raccoons? Anko asked with a serious and deadly tone. I am a demon. Shukaku shouted. You shut up. Anko roared at the demon. She turned her rage back toward Naruto. Now, my darling little surrogate brother, you better start explaining or I'm going to start cutting. Naruto gulped and steeled himself. Oh okay, I know that it was stupid, but if I didn't stop Gaara, people were going to die. I was thinking of you, the old man, and all my friends. I did it to protect everyone, and if I must die for that, then so be it. Naruto said nervously. He closed his eyes, expecting to die. After a while, he just felt a small bop on the top of his head. Anko just sighed at him. I shouldn't really be so surprised by your actions. Only you would do something so stupid with such noble reasons. Alright, I guess that I can forgive you. However, this is your only pass. You do something like this again and I am going to hurt you. Not even the Hokage will save you. Anko stated. Naruto nodded quickly and let out a sigh of relief. This is really sweet and all, but if you haven't noticed the huge raccoon in front of us. Gamabunta said. I'm a demon. Shukaku shouted. He was still fighting off Nagai. Anko looked forward. So what's our plan of attack? Anko asked. We need to wake up the boy. If we do that, the Ichibi will be sealed. Gamabunta explained. Alright then, Anko said. She vanished and reappeared on Nagai. Okay boy, eat the kid. As the snake opened his jaw, Gamabunta looked at Naruto. That woman is insane. Naruto didn't reply to the statement. Anko's attack was stopped by the Shukaku grabbing Nagai. He tossed the serpent off him and away. Gamabunta fired another Teppadama water bullet that hit Shukaku in the head. Shukaku fired back and Gamabunta jumped in the air. Nagai slithered on the ground toward Shukaku. He fired multiple Renkuden, but the serpent was too fast. Nagai came up from behind and tried to bite Gaara off the head. Shukaku swung his claw to kill Nagai, but the arm was sliced off. Naruto launched himself onto Shukaku and ran up toward Gaara. The demon tried to use the sand he was made of to capture Naruto, but he was too quick. He made some mini versions of him that fired sand bullets at Naruto. Naruto could not dodge them all, but he was saved by someone else. Two Anbu members appeared, protecting Naruto. They engaged the mini Shukaku and cleared a path. Naruto dashed forward and cocked his fist back. Time to wake the hell up. Naruto shouted. He threw his fist forward and connected with Gaara. It was enough to wake him. NNNOOO. I just came out. Shukaku exclaimed. The light faded from his eyes. Gaara saw Naruto preparing to hit him again and quickly acted. With a hand movement, he blasted Naruto away and toward the ground. Naruto is plummeting to his death when he is saved by Nagai's tail, launching him back toward the head. He was moving like a rocket toward Gaara. He did some seals on the way up. Kaiten, Karyudan, fire release, fire dragon bullet, Naruto shouted and exhales a flame breath at Gaara. The redhead quickly protected himself from the attack. This left his back open. He roared in pain as he was struck with shuriken. Gaara swung around with the Shukaku around, whipping the other arm around, swatting Gamabunta and Nagai away. You will not end my existence. Gaara shouted. Low bridge. Naruto exclaimed. Gaara turned around into a dropkick that ripped him from the sand monster. Gaara dropped to the trees. Naruto landed on the sand after the kick but screamed as the monster crumbled into pieces. Lucky for him, Anko was able to catch him. They also landed on top of the trees. They prepared for battle. Gaara looked around and saw that he was flanked by the two Anbu. He was tired and low on chakra, but he was not defeated yet. He would never be defeated. He would not stop until he killed the person who caused him all this pain. He was going to kill Naruto Uzumaki. Gaara dashed, using the remaining chakra, at Naruto, preparing to kill him. Naruto, shrugging off Anko, dashed forward to meet him. Gaara threw a punch but Naruto ducked it and connected with an uppercut. Gaara was sent flying to the ground below. Gaara hit the ground hard, face first. He counted himself lucky as there was still shuriken stuck to his back. Naruto also landed on the ground, using all four limbs. He was on his knees and looked at Gaara. The two glared at each other. Did you like that, huh? You want some more? Naruto asked tiredly. Why are you so strong? How can you defeat me? You are a fool, a nobody. My hate is stronger than everyone's. Why was I defeated by the likes of you? Gaara shouted. I fought you because you threatened my home. You would have killed all my friends and everyone in the village. I wasn't about to let that happen. During my first mission outside of the village, I met a guy who told me that when you have someone to protect, you can truly become strong. I wasn't about to let those I care about die by your hand. Naruto explained. Gaara looked furious and was about to shout when Naruto spoke again. I could have turned out like you, you know. Like you, I hated everyone who ignored me, hated me. What did I do to deserve the disgust? I was just a child. I wanted to wipe them all out. Naruto said. Why didn't you? Gaara asked, calm and curious. It's because I'm better than them. Naruto said with a grin that resembled Anko's. He suddenly got serious. No, that's not it. I just chose to make them see me. I refuse to give up and one day I will get them to acknowledge me. I'm going to be Hokage after all. When that happens, they will see that I'm not a nobody. Gaara just laid there thinking. My village will never forgive me. I have killed too many. He said. You're giving up too easy. Once you do that everything goes to shit. You have to keep fighting Gaara. You can't quit. Naruto said. It's easy to say because you have those that care about you. I do not. Gaara stated. Start small then, with your brother and sister. They seem to be worried about you. I don't know how I know that but they were. Naruto said. The conversation ended with the arrival of Anko and the Anbu. They secured Gaara without any resistance. Anko checked on Naruto who was okay but tired. They got the two up and moved them to a secure location. It was raining today. The skies were gray and everyone was dressed in black. Today, the village mourned the loss of their leader. Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Sandaime Hokage, lost his life in battle. Naruto walked up to the coffin, placing a white rose like everyone else. He returned to Anko's side. When Naruto was given the news, he broke down in tears. It had been a long time since he bawled like that. Anko embraced him and did not let go. Both of them were there for each other and still were. Anko gave him a talk and it helped him some. Naruto saw Konohamaru being comforted by Iruka. He looked at the others who were also sad. He noticed something up with his teammate, Sakura. She was sad but it looks like that she was in some pain as well. This something happened to her during the invasion. He put it in the back of his mind for now and watched as someone gave some final words to his surrogate grandfather. Naruto and Anko were enjoying some ramen after the funeral. The skies cleared up and they were hungry. Naruto wasn't eating like he was but he was eating. After the four gave a last hooray to the Sandaime, Naruto saw Kiba and Hinata out of the corner of his eye approaching him. He turned around to greet them but stopped when he saw their faces. Is something wrong, guys? Naruto asked. We need to talk about Sakura. Kiba said. Naruto gave them his attention. I noticed something was up with her. Did something happen during the invasion? Naruto asked. She had to kill a man. Kiba answered. Naruto was stunned to hear that. That would explain a lot from what he saw. She's not taking it well, is she? Naruto asked worriedly. No, Naruto-kun, she is not well. I do not think she has gotten over her first kill. Hinata explained. We attempted to check on her after the funeral when she nearly punched my head off. If it wasn't for my father, I could have been seriously hurt. Hinata said without a stutter. Naruto realized that this was serious. We told your sensei but it doesn't seem like he's taking it too seriously. He said to give her time and if it gets worse, he'll step in. Kiba added. Naruto narrowed his eyes at that. Anko just sighed at the man's stupidity. If Sakura was losing it, she needed help. Today might have been a time of mourning, but someone needed help. Naruto thanked the two before leaving. Sakura was sitting on her bed, curled up in a ball. She was very tired and she looked horrible. She wasn't getting enough sleep. She hadn't slept in 3 days. Every time she did, she would see the face of the man that she killed. He haunted her dreams and would curse her name. Even when she was up, she could hear his voice, telling her that she killed him. Sakura couldn't even look in a mirror without seeing him. She felt guilty because she was worrying her family and comrades. Her father would stay up with her at night. Her mother was getting frowns lines due to her worry. She nearly took Hinata's head off and would have if it wasn't for her father. Her parents wanted her to talk, but it was too hard. Sakura resolved herself to deal with it herself. Like it said in the guide, she would deal with this like a true shinobi would. Suddenly, she heard a knock at her window. She turned to see that it was Naruto. Sakura cleaned herself up as best as she could before opening the window. What is it, Naruto? It's not a good time right now. Well, I'm sorry, but you need to hear this. Due to who trained me, I'm going to be really in your face. Now, if you think that I'm going to allow you to self-destruct because you want to do this by yourself, then we're going to fight. Naruto stated. What? Sakura asked, stunned. Do you really think that you of all people can handle this by yourself? You think all those shinobi rules you learned in the academy is going to help you get over it? Don't be stupid. You can't keep this buried. You can't become like me or Sasuke. Naruto shouted at her. Why are you shouting at me? What the hell do you know? Sakura shouted back. I know more than you think. You think I've always been like this goofy troublemaker. You are talking to a guy who has always been alone, always been ignored. You know what I did with all those feelings I had? I buried all those bad feelings because I thought that it helped me move forward. You want to know what I realized? That I made the biggest mistake ever. Naruto said calmly. Sakura looked at Naruto with stunned silence. Naruto continued to speak. I buried a lot of bad feelings, Sakura. A lot of what you see is a mask that I created to keep myself from getting hurt. I've been using it for years. I could tell you that it helps, but sooner or later, it's going to slip. I'm an example, Anko Onizen is an example, and Sasuke is definitely an example. He's got issues upon issues. The point that I'm getting to, Sakura, is that keeping it in doesn't really work. You're not us. You're outgoing, bubbly and girly to keep stuff in. Naruto said. The comment made Sakura giggle. It was the first time that she did in 3 days. She was silent for a while before facing the boy in her window. So, what do you think I should do? Sakura asked. I'm scared, Naruto. I see that man's face every time I close my eyes. I don't know what I can do. You're doing something now. Admitting that you have a problem is the first step. You got to talk to your parents. Let those that love about you take care of you. Me, Kiba, Hinata, your parents, you have a group that only want the best for you. When you get back to that place, your spot will be waiting for you. Naruto said with a grin. Sakura chuckled at the stupid grin on his face. She couldn't believe that Naruto was making her do that. Thank you, Naruto, I mean it. Sakura said. Naruto clicked his tongue before bouncing off on the rooftops. Sakura turned around and was surprised to see her door open and her parents in the doorway. They smiled at her and held out their arms. Sakura started to tear up before rushing into their arms. The adults hugged their child and never let go. Watching from the rooftops, Anko couldn't help but smile at the scene. Her ototo had done really good. She looked up to the sky. The wall of fire is still strong, Sandaime-sama. Everything is going to be fine, she said. Anko turned and vanished. A lone leaf floated in the air and up to the heavens. Chapter 36. Sakura woke up when her alarm went off. She stopped it and got out of bed. She stretched a bit before doing some push-ups and sit-ups. After her morning routine, she took a shower to get ready for the day. It was still pretty early, but it did not deter her from where she was going to go. Besides, it was the only time that her sponsor could see her. She got dressed and went down to eat with her parents. She had a quick breakfast and left, saying goodbye to her parents. Sakura walked the streets to see that the rebuild of the village was still going on. Only 2 days had passed since the Sandaime's funeral and Naruto's pep talk. After that day, the family went to see the Yamanaka family to get some help. Ino was very surprised to hear what Sakura was going through and was there for her. Inoiki also understood and sent for someone. He assured the Haruno family that this person would be great for Sakura. Mitsune was a godsend to her. In those 2 days, Mitsune had managed to get her to sleep properly. She didn't use genjutsu or her family's jutsu on her. Mitsune just talked to her and listened to when she spoke. She got her to see that she was no monster and what happened was a case of survival. What made Sakura really happy was that Mitsune treated her like a ninja, as an equal. It felt great. Sakura arrived at Mitsune's door and knocked. "Come in, Sakura," she called out. Sakura entered to see the Yamanaka woman sitting with some tea made. Sakura smiled at her and entered, closing the door behind her. Naruto and Anko were having an intense spar in midair. They were using their kunai and were engaging each other viciously. They would counter, block or dodge the other's strike. By the cuts, Naruto was losing but he gotten a few cut on Anko as there were some cut marks on her. The two prepared to attack each other again when someone entered their battle. "Hello my apprentice and his sexy sister," called out an amused Jiraiya. He quickly caught the kunai that was thrown directly at his jewels. "Hey, that was uncalled for. So was pushing me into a ravine and playing with my life," Naruto countered. Jiraiya looked annoyed by that statement and the smirk on Anko's face did not help. "What are you doing here, pervert? We were in the middle of something," Anko said. "I need Naruto to come with me on an important mission," Jiraiya said. "With you? Yeah, right. Any mission with you is probably a stupid peeking mission for that dumb book of yours," Naruto commented. "Like you know anything about literature, brat. We are going to search for our new Hokage," Jiraiya shouted. That got their attention. Anko was trying to figure out who was outside of the village that he could be going to get. It suddenly hit her. "Okay, brat, go and get ready for this mission. It's important to the village," Anko said. "Oh, the hell that you care. You're just scared that I was catching up," Naruto shouted. It earned him a smack upside the head. "No, you moron. This is an important mission. We need a leader or we are going to be in trouble," Anko explained. "Besides, it's not every day that you could say to people that I personally met all 3 of the Sannin." Naruto looked at her and was not convinced. Come on, one Sannin is a traitor because he didn't become Hokage and the other is a pervert who needs to spy on women. This Sannin is probably as messed up as the other 2. Naruto argued. "Are you seriously arguing with me?" Anko asked dangerous. Fine, I'll go," Naruto said. He turned to Jiraiya. "I'll meet you at the gates in an hour." With that said, Naruto vanished. Anko and Jiraiya faced each other. "He seems a little hostile toward me. Is he really still hung up about the ravine thing?" Jiraiya asked. "Maybe it has something to do with things being kept for him." "Just a thought," Anko said sarcastically. "Well, I'll make it up to him. I'll show him a jutsu and he'll forget all about it," he said. "Oh yes, I'm sure that he will." Anko's voice dripped with sarcasm. She just shook her head and vanished as well. Jiraiya couldn't help but wonder why those 2 had it out for him. What did he do that was so wrong in their eyes? He just sighed and made his way to prepare for the trip. Kakashi was waiting for Sasuke at the tea shop. He sent a message to the Uchiha to explain that the team was on hiatus for the time being. Thinking about his team upset him a little. It was bad enough when Naruto would give him attitude, but with Sakura's choice to take time off, he really wished she would have come to him first. Her decision caused a lot of issues between him and the council. When he was called by the council, he could see by the looks on their faces that they were not happy. They told him about the discussion that they had with Sakura, who asked to be removed from duty until she got straight. While proud of her decision, the council then turned on him and demanded to know why he did not confront the problem himself. Kakashi tried to make an excuse but they were not having it. Due to the reports made by the late Hokage and Sakura's meeting with him, they decided to put Kakashi under review. The Jonin was shocked by the decision. Kakashi sighed because he knew what a review would mean. He could be removed as sensei and he could even be fined or demoted. He decided to ignore his fate and focused on the 2 men in the tea shop. They were wearing the robes that Jiraiya told him about. That's when he saw Asuma and Kurenai. "Hey guys, you guys on a date or something?" Kakashi asked. "Don't say stupid things, Kakashi," Kurenai stated with a blush. "What are you doing here, Kakashi? Shouldn't you be concentrating on what you're going to do about your review?" Asuma asked. I'll deal with the review when it comes. Kakashi said. I'm waiting for Sasuke. I'm going to get some sweets. For Obito's grave. That's a nice gesture, Asuma said, noticing the small motion by Kakashi. That's when Sasuke made his presence felt. He took one look at the tea shop and turned his nose up in disgust. I don't like sweets, he said. Is that so? Kakashi asked. He saw that the two were gone. Asuma and Kurenai nodded and disappeared as well, leaving a very confused Sasuke. Naruto and Jiraiya were a great distance now. They were moving at a civilian's pace and they had not spoken to each other since leaving. Jiraiya tried but he would get a snarky reply from the blonde. It was starting to get annoying. Okay kid, what is your problem with me? You can't still be mad at me about what I did during training. Jiraiya asked. Naruto stopped and turned to face the Sannin. He gave him a serious glance. Were you ever going to tell about the Akatsuki? Naruto asked, surprising Jiraiya. I mean, that is the reason you really wanted me to use the Kyuubi's chakra, right? Jiraiya cursed mentally and was a little peeved at Anko. His hesitation only pissed the blonde off. He turned to walk off but Jiraiya got in front of him to stop him. Okay, perhaps I should have told you why I wanted you to use its chakra. Yes, part of the reason is the Akatsuki. They are after you, or rather, they are after your tenant. That is one of the reasons I forced you to use its power. You need to be ready to face them in the future, he explained. Then you should have said Suero-sen and pervy sage. I'm so sick of people thinking that I'm some stupid kid. I understand things as well enough when it comes to me. Naruto shouted. Look, there is a reason why things are like that. We are just trying to protect you. Jiraiya said. Whatever, let's just get this over with. Naruto said and walked off. Jiraiya sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose. He was really hoping to get to know his godson a little but it looked like it would be harder than he thought. He followed Naruto to the nearby town, unaware that they were being followed. Sakura was annoyed. She looked at the treats that she brought that were crushed thanks to Sasuke. She was beginning to wonder what she ever saw in him. Huffing in annoyance, she decided to buy some more treats and go to visit Lee in the hospital. That's when she walked past a tea shop and saw Anko. Sakura decided to say hi to her. Hello Anko-san. Sakura greeted. Hey Pinky, how are doing? Anko asked with a grin. I'm doing a little better. Mitsune tells me that I should be good to go in a month or two. Iruka is going to do my evaluation when Mitsune gives the word. Still, I'm a little annoyed today. Sakura said. Why? What's going on? She asked. I really don't know. I was going to offer Naruto one of these, mochi, as a thank you for his words. That's when Sasuke ran up on me and demanded to know where Naruto was. I didn't know and he knocks over my box of mochi. He rushed off without an apology and crushed my treats. That's something all these prodigies have. I call it the asshole gene. You shouldn't let it bother you so much. If you want, I'll tell Naruto when he comes back from his mission. I'll even buy you some dango to replace the mochi. Anko said. Thanks a lot Anko-san. I think that Lee would like them. Sakura said. So you're interested in mini guy, huh? Anko asked slyly. What? No, we're just friends, she exclaimed. Oh, that's so cute. It's that type of denial that makes it so amusing. You and that Hyuga girl have to take control. Like I do when it comes to the man you want. Speaking of control, hey Iruka-kun. Anko called out. Seeing Anko, Iruka immediately turned and darted in the other direction. This just made Anko grin widely. I love it when he runs. It gives me a good view of that butt. She turned to the shopkeeper. Put those dango on my tab for Pinky here. I have a chunin to chase. With that, Anko took off after Iruka. Sakura just blinked at the scene and wondered just how much she influenced Naruto. Naruto was bouncing a ball around the room while his clones were also doing various things. He did this to take his mind off that stupid pervert. They didn't even get settled until he chased after some skirt. Why was he burdened with such a poor sensei? He should have fought harder with Anko about coming on this stupid trip. His attention turned to the door when he heard a knock. One of his clones went to the door and was about to mock Jiraiya for his failing. When he opened the door, he was surprised to see a pair of Sharingan eyes. The older teen looked a lot like Sasuke. That's when he saw his robes and realized just who this guy worked for. Oh shit. The clone cursed. This got the attention of the other clone and the original. They joined him and saw who they were facing. They also cursed but mentally. The young adult noticed the look of recognition and wondered how he knew. That's when his partner stepped into view. Seeing him, Naruto knew that he was in some real trouble. You never told me that the boy knew the Kage Bunshin shadow clone, Itachi. He said. It also seems that he also know just who we are Kisum. Itachi added. Is that so? Well, I guess that means we don't have to explain ourselves. Isn't that right, Kyuubi? Kisum asked with a grin. Being called that did not sit well with Naruto or his clones. Hey, the name is Naruto Fish Face, they all exclaimed. Fish Face, I haven't heard that one before. Kisum said with a chuckle. Have you heard that you're overcompensating with such a large weapon and you really have to pay for it because of the smell you produce, was the innocent question from one of them. Kisum lost his smile. The amused snort that came from his teammate only made Kisum frown. Can I cut off his legs now? Kisum asked with annoyance. Itachi, a voice shouted. Everyone looked down the hall to see an enraged Sasuke. Naruto couldn't believe that his luck was this bad. Who's the brat? Kisum asked. He's my younger brother. Itachi answered. Really? I thought you killed every Uchiha. Kisum asked with a grin. You were never held as a child, were you? Naruto insulted. Kisum gave him a glare. I swear, the first chance I get, I am shaving off your legs. Kisum said. Enough. Sasuke shouted, tired of being ignored. I have done as you have asked. I have hated you. I have loathed you. I have done nothing but hate you. Now, I shall take my vengeance. Sasuke activated the Chidori and charged at the group, his Sharingan blazing. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe, and see you guys later.